Now, listeners, are you ready to make 2022 your best year yet? Well, stay tuned if so, because the Echo Ratings big Christmas giveaway is here and it is live. You can enter for free now, echoratings.com/big Christmas giveaway, and you could be in with a chance of winning a huge, incredible prize pot worth over £20,000, because we have teamed up with some of our amazing brand partners to send one lucky winner on an equestrian extravaganza, that is a mouthful, to make all of their dreams come true in 2022. There is a trip to the FEI Eventing World Championships in Rome. You could be going behind the scenes at Land Rover Burley Horse Trials too. And there is so much more. Your feed room will be fully stocked, your tack room overflowing with everything that you could possibly need. We will kit you out in all of the latest technology, coaching sessions from an eventing legend, whole new wardrobe, and so much more to make you look and feel your best all year long. So, what are you waiting for? You can view the full list of amazing prizes and enter now for free over on the website. Just go to echoratings.com/big Christmas giveaway. It is free to enter. Entries are open now, and we will be announcing the winner just before Christmas. So make sure you follow us across social media. But are you ready to make 2022 your best year yet? Because it could be you. Go and enter now. Good luck and Merry Christmas. Welcome to Podmas on the Echo Ratings Eventing podcast, where this Christmas we will be bringing you a new episode every single day in the build-up to the big day. So here we go. Let's crack on with today's show.
It's Agony Hour. I just went with that. I didn't know how I was going to start. I panicked. I'll be honest. I panicked. It's a new concept. Waited for it for a long time. Had some questions sent in, been preparing myself for a long show, and then right at the last second, Nicole says, this is only Agony Hour light. It's actually only going to be like an Agony 10 minutes because it's going to form part of Podmas. So we're just going to go one question, I think, today. I'll introduce you to my two guests. I think you two will be the only two guests. I actually don't think Agony Hour is going to be the kind of thing that we involve the wider group in. So we've got, obviously, the professional of the podcast group, one of my closest friends and confidants, and someone I rely very heavily on for advice. She's a great pal and is, I would say, someone who delivers very practical advice. You know, paints herself as quite a caring, maternal bundle of joy. But I would say will deliver quite hard-hitting, practical advice as well. Think that's a fair assessment, Nickers?
Feel like the pressure is on for me to fix people's problems after that intro, but I love giving advice. I'm better at fixing it, whether it's asked for or not. Sometimes I just give it for the fun of it. No, I'm looking forward to this. Really looking forward to this. Can't wait.
Yeah, okay. I mean, the fact that I've been asking for this show for nearly 3 years would indicate differently, but we will see. Obviously, if we were going to have someone on to solve problems, we needed the man who has the highest emotional intelligence in Britain. And that is a fact. He is also a vet, but the big thing about him is he's just made for this show. He sees every side of the story, but more importantly, he feels every side of every story. His name is Peter Spike Milligan, the vet. How are you, my friend?
I just feel so relieved that I finally got an outlet for all this pent up empathy that I'm full of. Finally,
exactly.
Finally, I can use it. You'd think I'd use it every day in work, but not really. Right. So here we go. Do you
want to just get straight stuck in? I'm probably just going to deal with one question today. We go for it. I mean,
it'll better be a good one.
Well, I've got.
Can I ask just quickly? Are we having serious questions or are they funny questions? Like just so we can tailor our advice accordingly.
Well, I suppose you'll just have to hear them when you hear the questions. I've had quite a few. Like I've had a few on WhatsApp. I've had a few that you've sent me from Instagram.
A few on WhatsApp, have you, dear? People messaging you directly for Agony Hour.
Yeah, I didn't actually think that many people who were in my actual phone book you know what I mean? We're actually listening to the show, but a few people did send me stuff.
How would you say?
Okay. Okay, I'll read out one. This is. I don't know. I mean, Nicole, take this as you want. I'll just read it out. Okay, after 8 months in our new home, our opposite. I've actually got a few neighbours ones coming over the next couple of weeks, but I'm going to start with a neighbours one. After 8 months in our new home, our opposite neighbours, an elderly couple (brackets) who we have never met, left a housewarming gift and a card at our door whilst we were out. Over the next few days, we intended to leave a thank you card in return and introduce ourselves. But the next weekend, before we got the chance, our other neighbour informed us that Mr. Opposite neighbour had died. In a very awkward turn of events, we now needed to buy a sympathy card instead of a thank you card. But again, I never got around to that piece of life admin. I am now in a dilemma where I've ignored both a gift and a funeral. Some weeks have passed, and I've had to awkwardly dodge the lady and pretend to not see her in her garden when hacking past, etc. Have I missed the window, or how could I potentially recover from this situation?
I mean,
Ooh.
firstly,
Yeah.
what a question to get us started. But I would just say, take a long, hard look in the mirror. You're dodging a lady who just lost her husband. Where's that empathy?
Yeah, but I can see this person's point. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's just sometimes things go to a point where it's tricky, you know?
Do you know, I love a thank you card. Massive fan of a thank you card. Handwritten note goes a long way in life. So I would say you're not too late. And I would say come straight out and say, I'm so sorry that we haven't spoken before now, but I'm really, really sorry for your loss. And thank you so much for our gift. And if you need anything, please do, you know where to find us. I just dive straight in. I don't think you can avoid this, because unless she's going to die sometime soon, I mean, the problem isn't going away, is it?
Do you know what I think would be a really nice idea? How about some sort of homemade casserole or something that shows that you put time and effort into it.
Yeah.
And you can go over, because actually when you're mourning, but when in that kind of scenario, something that really shows that you put some time and effort into something would be, as you say, something that's homemade, and actually something that could be heated up easily and quickly. And even if you said, here's for now, and why don't you come over for dinner this week?
Come over for dinner.
Yeah,
hang on.
You've got to go in. You've got to go in now.
Whoa.
You've got to go strong. You've got to make up for some bad misses now.
But just a smile, and I don't think you can avoid it, because I don't think it's going to go away.
You can't just trot past on your pony now.
No.
You just.
But I don't think the woman has seen her. You know what I mean? I don't think she's actively ignoring.
What is she wearing her invisible cloak when she's on a horse?
No, but
did they think it was just a loose horse trotting past?
They dug down around the neck.
Pretend I've not seen her in the garden when hacking past is what she's doing.
Ooh. What would you do?
But that means
I don't know. I think you're both. I appreciate that you're both jumping in head first. I don't know that you're going to invite this lady over for dinner. I mean, there's loads of dynamics there that we don't know anything about. So, can they cook? I mean, you're suggesting that they can cook, homemade stuff, right? We don't know any of that. So, like, if you can't cook, that can be quite a stressful thing you're suggesting there, both to make her something and to have her over.
Well, it doesn't have to be food, but it could be something homemade. Like, even if you were saying that
painting. Like, what do you mean food? What else are they going to make, Peter?
I don't know. A card, write a handwritten letter, something that shows that you put a time into it. Like, anything else is going to seem really token.
All right. Well, they can't buy a card. Do we all agree on that? They're not going to buy a sympathy card. Are we agreeing on that?
I think you can buy a sympathy card. I think you just have to write a nice note inside it.
Flowers.
I don't like them sympathy cards, if I'm honest. Not ones out of the shop, anyway.
I also
don't think you can make.
Why don't you buy a card? Why don't you buy a card with a nice scene on the front, like a farming card or a Something like that. Like, pretty
A
big.
farming card. This is so
pretty
specific
big.
advice.
For the particular scene.
Can I just
A rainbow.
pick up on
Something nice.
one
Right, go on,
thing
Nickers.
that's bothering me about this story is it is a bit weird, being totally honest, that it took them 8 months to send you a housewarming card.
After 8 months in our new home, our opposite neighbour, an elderly couple, left a housewarming gift.
So maybe they didn't notice that you'd moved in until they thought, oh, there's some new people over there, because you'd never seen them. So they thought you'd just moved in.
I mean, they were probably isolating because of COVID.
It's probably the COVID, Nicole.
So maybe you could just, pretend that it's totally normal and just literally write them a sympathy card. Don't overthink it and do what you'd originally planned to do. But do it. Don't ignore the old lady whose husband just died.
Could you pretend
the dog ate the card?
No, could you pretend like that you'd already dropped it over? Like, could you say like
no,
you can't do that. That is like the worst thing. I did not get my card.
Then you think then they'll think they've gone.
You blame it on the post. I mean, I posted you this lovely card
from across the road.
Well, I'm just saying you could kind of allude to it. You could say like further to the gift.
Further to my previous report dated.
Further to my previous correspondence with your family. I'm now following up with a sympathy card.
I mean, imagine if you pretended that you didn't realise that the old man had died and you just said a thank you card.
Just a thank you card to Mr. and Mrs. over the road.
Alternatively, you could just go. I mean, I think you're not going to take. Surely they're not going to take that approach. But you could just go straight in. You could walk up to them, and start chatting to them, and
have
really. Well, what I mean is like. Act as if maybe you could act as if you don't know that the man is dead, and you could.
I think that's tough, and I think from the fact that this person has avoided them for however many months, that I think to go the whole hog and try and do it in person, I think it would be easier to hide behind a little handwritten card or something, or you could leave, I don't know, a little box of brownies or something, just something that shows that you've.
But if you think beyond that, like all that's probably going to do is make the writer here feel a bit better that they've covered this off, but they're probably not going to
feeling guilty to have written into Agony Hour.
You could write something. You could write something really. You can write something very lovely in the card, and you can say, I know, so sorry and so terrible that we've not been in a position to have replied to your lovely thank you card.
Hang on.
So sorry for your recent loss. If we can do anything to help, then please just come and knock on the door. Just open an olive branch. Come on. Do better than that.
Nice trick for you as well, listeners. If you are wanting to write a handwritten thank you card and you've got a thank you card, then but you don't really know how much you want to write, then buy a smaller card. And so it looks like you filled it up full of words rather than a massive, great big like A5 card that you feel like you've sort of got to pad out.
That is the most boring piece of advice I've ever been subjected to.
Handy life tip.
What I often do is
thank you for my recent card from you, Nicole, written on a matchbox. That was really nice.
She had so much to say to me.
I thought you had a lot more to say about, Percy's birthday or whatever it was that you said thank you for.
Those little mini books.
I was saying thank you for Percy's birthday. No, I always do cards. To be fair, never buy massive cards. But
I do very small cards.
Everyone starts on the right-hand side of the page, don't they? And then if you have more to say, you do the arrow back over to the left-hand side of the card.
All I was thinking is that if you really haven't got anything, like you're really not sure what to say, or you're worried about digging yourself into a hole, then you could just, be a bit strategic about it.
Well, it's the strategy. Buy a small card and say less.
No, but just feel like if you're worried that you don't really, but they obviously are worried about what they're going to say. So it would just mean that they can write a few lines and send their condolences, say thank you very much. If you need anything, please get in touch. etc., etc. Maybe give their phone number. Then if they have any problems, they could ring them. They probably don't do text if they're really elderly. I don't know how elderly.
No, say that. Invite them to knock on the door and come and say hello.
You don't invite an old woman to knock on your door, lads. What is that about?
I love older people. I totally adopt old people.
Okay, but
what?
That sounds
because you're worried that you're never going to get rid of them, or what?
No, because they're elderly people and they don't know you from Adam, and you've already ignored all of their previous advances, and you're now saying,
"What do you think What do they think you're going to do to them?"
They don't know. Is the point? But like, would you? If someone said to you, Nicole, you're a big scaredy cat. What if someone said to you, "Come over and knock on the door if you need anything"? You wouldn't knock over and knock on the door.
No, if it was just somebody who lived opposite, and maybe
I mean, if Nicole was recently widowed,
and
she needed that support, I think that's quite nice.
Yeah, but they wouldn't say, she wouldn't go if someone said, "Come over and knock on the door." They're going to be feeling a bit vulnerable, a bit fragile. The last thing you need.
It's the principle, though, isn't it? It's that principle of the invitation.
Yeah, but the principle should be, that you knock on her door and you say, "Look, I've
coming in to cheer you up."
No, I'm not coming in. That would be too much, Peter. You'd say, "I've had a mare here. I didn't know John was dead, other than your neighbour told me. And on top of that, let's be honest, we don't know how many." Look, all it says is, actually, lads, let's be fair. All it says is, over the next few days, we intended to leave a thank you card, and then someone said Mr. Opposite was dead. So this could be nothing at all. I would forget the thank you card. Just thanks for leaving that. But more importantly, sorry about John.
Yes, I think the sympathy supersedes.
And here is a bottle of sherry. Here's a bottle of Harvey's Bristol Cream. But am I right? You need to give a gift now.
Alcohol is a fair gift.
Some kind of thing like that. Anyway, take action. I think take action. Go to the door. Don't invite her. Don't
take ownership of your. Take ownership of the mistake.
I wouldn't eat something that someone baked out of their own house in a COVID environment. Don't do that. Absolutely not. I don't. Really? I don't want your baked goods. I don't know who you are. I would hate drinking milk in other people's houses.
No.
Oh my God! Everyone's
how's been the move to the new house, D?
Yeah,
lots of baked goods on the doorstep, are there?
We've got a few interesting neighbours. We've got one neighbour on our left who we have never spoken to, and we can't really work them out. All the other neighbours just says they're two doctors, But that's the end of the sentence. They never have anything else to say. Like, no one knows. We don't know how many people live in there. They've got like children, but the parents look quite young, but the children are kind of late teens or early 20s. It's a really confusing situation next door. So they're very unfriendly. Across, we have a family a bit like us, quite nice. Across and opposite, they're very funny. They're very involved with us. So they come over to in fairness, they come over. It's quite funny. I was standing there with no top on in the front room, and I've got no curtains, and the light was on. But you forget, because I've lived in an apartment all my life, you forget that we've a massive window, and I'm just standing there in a pair of black tracksuit bottoms and no top, and that isn't what it used to be 10 years ago. That's not a great sight anymore. Just literally standing there like an oaf, and got a knock on the window. I jumped out of my skin. But obviously, Mr. Neighbour opposite to the right came over with a bottle of wine and a box of dark chocolate lint things, and said, welcome to the neighbourhood. We'll add you to the WhatsApp group later.
Oh, nudge.
He's not.
He saw through the window.
Yeah, he did. I don't know what WhatsApp group he's adding me to, but no, nothing like that. Nothing like that. But no, it's interesting, Peter. It's very different to living in an apartment, living in a street. I've got more neighbour agonies. So that's just the first of them. Actually, as it turns out, I think
how many of these neighbour agonies did you write, D? Hey,
No,
do we
I've
feel
not.
as though do Nicole,
I've got-
Nicole and I here just to solve your problems?
Oh no, I actually don't have any. I mean, you could easily make an agony out of next door, but I don't know what to do about them. I presume we will have to kind of take the bull by the horns and just go in, and it is quite awkward. Like, we've been here for a while. They've walked past us in the street, like, and they just turned.
Maybe they wrote this one. Except that you haven't been widowed.
Yeah,
He's not,
we're not
yeah,
there,
he's not the old man. I mean, he might not look as good as he did 10 years ago, Spike, but I don't think he's that old yet.
Yeah. Right, that's it from us for this week. In future, as we move into the new year, agonies will get the full 45-minute treatment. But for now, it's just one little brief taste of agony. Happy Podmas, and tune in tomorrow. See you soon.
Ho, ho, ho! Merry Christmas!